Hi, good morning. This is Hans Guth with ListingsMagic, and we're going to get started here in a couple minutes. I got a couple minutes after 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and so I will get going here shortly. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes to get a couple more people on. Glad everybody made it through Hurricane Matthew okay last night and didn't have any serious damage, I guess, at least not in your area. I'm actually from South Florida originally, so I follow it very closely. I moved, we're headquartered in Colorado, by the way. I moved out here in '96, and somehow I was born and raised there. I always seemed to be out of town or away when the hurricanes would hit. So I got lucky. I was in Maine when Andrew hit, and I can remember trying to follow along. This is pre-internet days, and trying to follow along with what was going on back then with my parents up in Maine, and just hearing the devastation that Andrew caused. I was nervous for you guys down there. Yep, got a couple more people jumping on. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you a couple of the housekeeping tips just to stay on track. There is an ability to ask questions via chat. If you still have your GoToWebinar admin kind of slid off to the right-hand side, you can minimize that. But if you want to ask a question, I'm not going to answer questions most likely during the course of the presentation just because I may not see it, and I tend to hold those off till the end so that we can get those things addressed. It just keeps us on track. But you can go ahead and ask questions that you've got along the way, and at the end we'll make sure we address those questions and get those answered. This is being recorded, and so for anybody that wants to watch it after the fact, or for anybody that couldn't make it, which obviously you're not on right now, you'll be able to watch this afterwards, and we'll send it out to all Illustrated Properties agents after the fact. And so let's see, I think that covers the housekeeping issues, and there are no questions yet. Oh, it's actually a little box that says questions, so you can ask questions there. There's also a chat. I would ask the questions in the little question area just to keep things in the same place. And it's a little strange because it's one way. I'm just talking. There is no ability to ask questions. At the end, if there are some questions that you want to ask, I will open up the mics for you to ask questions directly, or if you're on the phone, you can obviously answer via phone or ask questions via phone. And so let's go get started. Thanks for attending. A little bit about ListingsMagic. You guys have been using this for quite a while now, a couple of years. And the nice thing is you may not even have had to talk with us, because a lot of the stuff that we do is automated. We got started in this business over 10 years ago, and when we got started, we were simply a virtual tour. And so agents would add their properties into our system and then add their photos wherever they got those from, and then we would build these virtual tours that were published to places like Realtor.com, the local MLS, to your own website. And as we started to realize that there's a lot more we can do with this property information, we started to add various functionality and different features, the ability to generate nice brochures, the ability to create a single property website, trying to do more in the domain of lead generation, more in the way of syndication. Zillow and Trulia didn't exist back in the day. And so we have, over the past 10 years, really morphed into a marketing tool set that allows you to market not just properties, but also market yourself. And so we'll go into those things in a little bit more detail here. This is going to be really designed for somebody that's not really logged into the back-end system before. And so, we'll do some additional webinars where we maybe take a deeper dive into something that is really specific. Today is going to be a little bit more broad stroke in how we approach the webinar today. And so I'm going to use Lynn Bird as a sample account. I've used her in the past before, and so we'll just go ahead and use one of your agents. You'll see that the portals are branded for you guys. We have a lot of clients around the country. Like I said, we've been in business for 10 years. We've got thousands of clients in different states, and just nice. We've got some clients down there in Florida. It gives me an excuse to come back down to Florida and visit you guys and visit friends and family that I still have down there. So thanks for being you. And so I want to go ahead and get started with a property. So everything that's done inside the system, or for the most part, is done through Managed Properties. If you haven't logged in before, one thing I would recommend you do is, first thing is edit your account information. And you just want to check and make sure we have the information correct. That's one of the hardest things that we have to deal with as a company, is making sure that all the agent information is correct, including getting your photo and logo right. And so just log in, check through, and make sure that this information is here. And there's a couple things I'm going to come back to here later on that I won't go into yet, but that's the first thing I'm going to recommend that you do. So hover over the Account tab and then Edit Account Information and just verify all that information is correct inside of here. And so I'll get back to a couple things in here that are new features in a little bit. And again, everything that we do is for the most part property centric, and so the nice thing that our system does is we automatically go into the MLS and grab the property information so long as we have your agent ID and MLS system. So most of you guys work with beaches, some of you work with Martin County. Those are both MLSs that we're able to pull property data proactively out of. And so if we have your information correct, if you put a new property into the MLS, usually within an hour or so, you're going to get notifications from us saying, congratulations on your new listing. Here is a way to manage that listing. You're going to get 3 different emails from us. One is a management email that shows you how you can log in. It'll take you right into this screen. You don't need to remember your login information. You can just come right in and do all things I'm going to show you right now. Another one is what we call the marketing email. This is something that you want to send off to your sellers that allows you to quickly show them all the various things that you're doing for their property and helping to market it. And then another one is a just listed email that you can send to other agents or to the sellers themselves that they can use to forward to their friends and family. You want them on your side. A happy seller is a seller that is going to end up at closing. So we always want to keep our sellers happy, and that's a lot of the stuff that we do marketing-wise. We are really trying to make sure that there's two kinds of marketing in the way I look at the world. There's the marketing that really generates results for you. You're able to see leads from it. And then there's what I call fluff marketing. The fluff marketing is really designed to keep your sellers happy. But that, I'm not to say that that's a negative. That's absolutely positive because, like I said, happy sellers go to closing is kind of my motto. And so anyhow, so we're into the managed properties area here. And you'll see it gives you the basic property information. You'll see that the status is active. Everything we do, we're syncing up with the MLS. So the nice thing is once we put a property into our system, you really don't need to do anything. You don't need to worry about photos being updated here. If photos get changed in the MLS, we're going to pull them across over here. And if property information changes, we're going to sync that up with the MLS. So as long as the property is still on the market, it's going to show as active. This active simply means that it's actively being sold. If the property goes under contract, this will go to inactive. And it doesn't mean that the property is inaccessible. A lot of people get scared. They're like, well, my seller might still want to look at it. It's not closed yet. Or I want to send it to the buyers so they can see it. All of those things will still work. All we're going to do is stop the syndication. So we're not going to send you reminder emails to post to Craigslist. We're not going to continue to syndicate it to Zillow and Trulia any longer. Those are the things that we're going to turn off. So that's what the active actually means here. And so there's two basic, I guess, main property display types that we have inside of our system. The single property website is our newer version of the display tool, and then our legacy, I would call it, is the traditional virtual tour. And so we'll take a look at both of these two here and give you a chance to have a sense of what these two both mean. I'll kind of load them both in different tabs so that they're both available to us. I'll make sure my sound is turned down. There's music that plays with it. The music selections are something that you can set for any of the properties. And so the first one that's loading here is I gotta close this little tab here to the right, is the virtual tour. And so this is, like you say, the traditional tour that has what's called the Ken Burns effect. Property photos come in and out. And you can see it might move a little slow and herky-jerky on your end because you're mimicking my screen. But you'll see after a few seconds, the chat window slides out. This isn't something that Lynn did. She didn't know that this tour is being viewed. This is a tool that we have implemented that has been a tremendous lead generator for our agents. So many of you may have gotten a chat request on your phone. You're like, what is this? Because it's a text message. That's the beauty of this tool and how it works, is that it's anonymous. So the reason that people are willing to type in a message here and make an inquiry in the property, like, what's the square footage, or are there any HOAs? Some of the common questions that we see. A lot of times you'll get I don't believe you're a real person, as a question. I just heard the other day somebody said that that's the message they got, and they typed back and said, oh, yes, I am. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't require you to install any software. So we were initially going to launch this with our own software package that we were building that would require you to go to the App Store, download software, and we'd have to update that software. And we decided that that's just too challenging, and we're going to just use standard text messaging. So when a buyer types a message in here, you're going to get that on your cell phone just like a text message gets delivered, and you're able to respond to it just like you would respond to a text. At this point, I want to point out that we do not know who these people are. The reason this tool has been so effective is because it allows you to have kind of an anonymous conversation with somebody, build up trust with them, and then ask them for their information. Like, hey, can I send you some other properties that are similar? Or I've got a floor plan for this property. Can I send that over to you? And so you're going to have to kind of work it kind of like you'd work a floor call if you've ever worked floor at an office before, where you get a phone call, you don't know who they are at this point in time, and you got to kind of massage that conversation a little bit. So that's how the chat works. Extremely effective. Another tool to use in a listing presentation as well. Highly recommended. When sellers see this and how accessible you are, it really helps you gain their trust and see that you're on their team, and I think it's a differentiator for you. And so there's a lot of other components to the virtual tour. Based on time, I'm not going to go into all of these here. There's another lead generator that we're pretty excited about, because again, the only way people are going to give you information about who they are is if they perceive enough value from what you're providing. And so just saying give me your contact information, or forcing somebody to register on a website, or even I've seen some tours that say give us your email address before you can view this virtual tour. It just doesn't work anymore. There's just too many other places to get the information. Even sending an email to an agent through our tours, I see the data, the stats behind the scenes. This chat and this follow me are far more effective tools in lead generation. So what is follow me? I'll pop that open here. So it's basically follow this property. Real estate that is priced right, sells fast. Be the first to know about any price changes or status changes for this property. So if this is a listing that they're interested in, this has value to them. So if they put this contact information in here, you'll get notified via a lead, and you'll obviously have somebody to follow up with. And so that's kind of the two main things that I think are points of differentiation for our virtual tour. Those things also exist over here in the single property website. Again, we talked about the two different form factors. This is more geared towards modern, I guess, viewing, if you will, the way it's laid out. And so it's got all the property information. It's got Lynn's contact information up here. We've got the chat that pops out just like we did earlier, that sits off to the right. It's got a map of the property, shows you right where it is, local schools, local info, mortgage calculator. You guys are partnered with Finance of America, and so whoever your loan person is, they'll show up there as well. And then it's got a walk score and download a brochure. You got all these different components. So those are the two main marketing tools, I guess, that or presentation tools that exist inside of the ListingsMagic marketing toolset. Now, there's a lot more than just that. So you guys have a partnership with Realtor.com. We're able to submit the virtual tour to Realtor.com. We're automatically doing that. If for some reason this hasn't been turned to red, so all of the marketing that gets done here, these things are going to be in red if they're not complete. And so you'll see if this is, it'll say not submitted. You'll be able to check. And periodically there's reasons why that won't happen. Maybe when we built the property wasn't on Realtor.com yet. We'll go back through and try and submit it. So it's very rare that you won't have that submitted, but just in case, if you need to do it yourself, you can manually submit the tour to Realtor.com. Syndication on both Trulia and Zillow are things that we have built specific feeds just for your office. And so if you go check your listings on Trulia or Zillow, you'll see that they're at the very bottom, they're going to show you that they're being fed by Illustrated Properties, but that's a feed that we've created for your office specifically. And so what's great about that is it gives us the ability to troubleshoot if a listing isn't showing up on these sites. It's been a challenge in the past as they have become so big as companies, and then when they merged, there was a lot of challenges, but things have really gotten great between our company and Trulia and Zillow in terms of our ability to make sure listings show up, make sure photos show up properly, There are still challenges. We don't pay them money. You don't pay them money. So it's, sometimes the resolution doesn't occur right away, but in general, we've really had great success with our syndication to both those two sites. We used to send to other sites as well, but quite frankly, between Realtor.com, Trulia, and Zillow, those three sites make up well over 90% of the real estate traffic that's out there. The rest is just inconsequential as far as traffic is concerned. So, if you guys do use ListHub kind of handles all the I call them the also-ran websites for syndication. So the militaryhomesforyou.com, those are sites that are very lightly trafficked. These three are the bulk of the traffic that's out there. Another site that we are pretty excited that we're able to publish to is Craigslist. So I know a lot of people have this love-hate relationship, or I should say maybe hate-hate relationship with Craigslist. Backpage is a similar site to Craigslist, so I'm just going to talk about Craigslist for now. There has been some kind of nebulous stuff out there that makes it kind of scammy seeming, I guess. But the reality is that Craigslist actually does get quite a bit of traffic out there, and because it's cleaned itself up a lot, it used to be just very spammy, and there was all kinds of nonsense on Craigslist. You really didn't get much value from posting on Craigslist. Now I'll show you it's a lot different. So the nice thing about our tool is we need your login information for Craigslist. So your login information will be placed here, and then when you click on Post to Craigslist Now, we're going to automatically log you in behind the scenes, and it's going to tell you we are building your Craigslist ad now. We made a major update to this just a few weeks ago, and now you no longer need to wait for the ad to get built. You simply go check your email after a few minutes. So it takes a few minutes for the ad to actually get built, but we're going to completely build the ad behind the scenes. You don't have to do anything. And so if you've ever placed an ad on Craigslist, you know how time-consuming it can be. You've got to choose your region, you got to choose real estate for sale, you got to choose that you're a broker, and then you got to add all your contact information. Your contact information, all the property information. Then you got to add your photos. And so it could be anywhere from a 10 to 15-minute process from beginning to end. No longer the case. We do it all automatically for you. So I'm not going to wait. You can see that the ad's being built here. If I wanted to, I could wait, but I'm going to go ahead and dump out of this, and then I'll check my email here in a little while, and you'll see what I'm talking about. A little bit about Craigslist. And so if you're interested in getting more leads, we're doing some really cool things with Craigslist. So if you were to do a search, I'm just doing a search here in Miami for Craigslist and using ListingsMagic. So I want to see how many active ads we have posted on Craigslist, and currently we have 142, and that's going to blow away any other company that has virtual tours or has any other kind of tours that are out there. Anybody. We've done the research to verify that. And so let's take a look at one of the ads. So the cool thing about our ads now is that this is completely built by automation. The photos now need to be on Craigslist, but we do that. We actually upload them behind the scenes. And so I'm going to look down here. You'll see to get additional photos, video, and more, text CME 133-382 to 878787. This has been a tremendous lead generator. And so you don't have the ability to put a hyperlink in Craigslist anymore. You can't put the tour information. Matter of fact, if you actually put anything HTTP : with a URL, oftentimes it'll get flagged, because part of the terms of service with Craigslist is you're not supposed to link out of Craigslist. It's kind of silly, but they do what they do at Craigslist, and we just kind of have to follow suit. So we're trying to take advantage as best we can, and so this text CME 133-382 to 8787 is going to give them a link to the virtual tour and single property website, but it's also going to give you a lead. And so a great lead generation tool, highly recommended. I know some people are like, oh, I'm never going to post to Craigslist. I say more exposure is better than less exposure for your properties. And so by all means, take advantage of this very easy to use tool. So that's a little bit on Craigslist. Similar, Backpage is very easy to post to as well. I know I kind of skipped over that, but again, due to time, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Craigslist or Backpage. Just know that it's a smaller site, similar to Craigslist, same thing, very easy to post to, and you'll be done in no time. We also have the ability to post to any of the social media sites that are out there. And so the most common one, of course, is published to Facebook. As an admin of a business page or a fan page or your real estate page, you'll have the ability to post to both your wall and or the pages that you manage, so long as you have permission. And so I've got a lot of different pages that we've built for testing purposes that I manage, or that I have access to, I should say. And so they show up here, and so I can choose which place I want to post it to, choose which property I want to post to, and then I've got the description. I can update and modify that description. If it's a different property I want to post, I can choose whichever one I want to as well. So if I pick another one, the description gets updated. And then if you want to engage viewers, so we added this ability to engage viewers. So what you're trying to do on a social site is generate conversation and add value. And so you've got these predetermined call-outs. What do you like about this property? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well does this house show? Here's a new listing of mine. What do you think? What do you think this home's strong points are and whatever its weak points? So you can have those be your call-out, or you can just put your own in there. So check out this great listing. If you want to just keep it simple, what do you think? I always like to add a question. You want to pose a question to people. And so you just click on Post Now. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you it on my wall and how it showed up. And so visit your page, and you'll see, check out this great listing. What do you think? And there you go. I'm going to go ahead and delete that just because I want to make sure that it goes away. It's not my listing. You also have the ability to automate this. So if you want to automatically have us send listings to your Facebook page every time they hit, we're just going to choose a random call out. So it'll be randomized, but you can automate this process. So every time a new listing hits the market, we'll automatically send it. You don't even have to log in or think about posting to Facebook. We'll do it behind the scenes for you. So that's a nice time saver. So that's how Facebook works. Again, very simple. Similar in many regards to Twitter posting, LinkedIn posting, Pinterest posting, or Google Plus posting. So those are all available to you right here. Those are the main ones. Also, we build a video for your properties and we submit those to YouTube. You have the ability to download that MP4 video for up to 10 days if you want to use it for other marketing purposes after 10 days, and this listing must be older than 10 days. We remove that, but the video is always up on YouTube until it gets sold, and at which point we remove it, or if the property gets deleted, we remove it. And so you can visit the property on YouTube. If you have your own YouTube channel, you can have us automatically send that property over to your YouTube channel. And so just send an email to support@listingsmagic.com and request that we get you the link. We'll send you a link to get that property uploaded to your individual YouTube channel. So right now they're just going to the IPRE properties site in general. And again, it's got generic property information, and then it goes through the photos, kind of like a slideshow does. And it might, again, be a little bit jerky on your end simply because you're seeing my screen through the GoToWebinar technology. But that's the YouTube video that we generate for all properties. If you have an Active Rain account, Active Rain used to be kind of a popular site. It's sort of been bought and sold and passed around, and it's lost a lot of its luster. But a lot of people still say that they get lots of traffic and value from being on Active Rain. So by all means, we make it easy. It's HTML script that we publish for you. You can also use the same Active Rain code on a personal blog, on Blogger, or any of the blog sites that are out there will accept HTML code, so you can use that as well. And so those are some of the syndication and publishing options that are available to you. You can kind of see we break things down into these buckets, and so those are the syndication and publishing options that we've covered. Now we're going to go into the property options. And so if you need to update something and you need to do it right away and you can't wait for the MLS to synchronize, you would go here. Also where you would go if you wanted to change the music or certain color schemes. And so we'll kind of step into this real quick here and show you. This information you don't need to touch. Again, we're synchronizing with the MLS data. Also, if you've hired a third-party company to create a virtual tour that you'd rather have displayed, you can actually still use our system and enter the other URL. And so let's just say you have a photographer and he created a version that you prefer. You can go ahead and place that here and tell us to use that instead. And so all the places that we syndicate to, so you still get the value of our syndication and our ability to publish, but we're going to open up the virtual tour that you want. And so this is a nice tool for agents to take advantage of that have, maybe it's a YouTube video that somebody custom created for you as well. And so we're not going to do that, so we won't say that here. We also have different patterns that you can choose as far as virtual tour background. So if you want to choose something else, this is where we do so much in terms of automation, but we know you want to personalize this perhaps. You want this to look and reflect your branding or who you are. You can come in and do a lot of this customization yourself and make things look and feel the way you want them to feel. And so let's just say you're more of a purple person or maroon, whatever that color is. Yeah, maroon, is that maroon? Looks more red to me on my screen. In any event, you can continue to get it to the way you want it to look. And in a second here, I'll show you if you want this to be the pattern every time we build a new tour for you, you can set custom defaults as well. So I'll walk through the defaults here shortly as well. That's something I should have done during the edit account information area. And then various property information. Again, don't need to worry about that. If you want to add an open house, you can put in an open house information here. We'll send that to both Realtor.com and to Truly and Zillow. And then, do you want us to update Realtor.com? You guys have what's called Company Showcase with Realtor.com. So that gives us the ability to do some further enhancements on Realtor.com. So you can put in your custom headline, what you want those to be. These are the defaults that Lynn has in her account, and those are the defaults that we set up by automation. So call today for a showing with your phone number, your cell phone, and then we'll put in your website to try and get people over to your website. And then the special message, specializing in Palm Beach County's Country Club. It looks like she updated this herself, so she has created a custom one for her, and so you can customize this for this particular property. And then any reports that we send out that you want your sellers to get automatically, we have a couple of different reports. We have Realtor.com reports, so we're going to be able to send you the stats that Realtor.com keeps track of, which is nice because they get a lot of traffic. But we also keep track of our virtual tour and single property website views. So both of those are reports that you can send to your sellers automatically. We send those out either weekly or daily, depending on which setting you prefer. We recommend weekly just because you don't want to inundate your sellers. Things don't change that much day by day. But you just we default to your email address. So if you're getting these reports, that's because we just stuck you in there by default. But you just put in seller at seller.com, Mr. Seller at seller.com, Mrs. Seller, grandma, whoever wants to get these reports, you can put as many people in there just separated by commas. And so that's easy to do. And then the Realtor.com stats email, do you want us to send that? It looks like that's a no at this point right now. That should be a yes because you guys still have the ability to send those reports as your showcase. If you have really anal retentive sellers and you want to really show them what you're doing, every time a property is viewed online, they'll get a notification saying this property was viewed from Realtor.com at such and such a time. After a couple of days or maybe even just one day, maybe even a few hours, you'll get a call from your seller saying, can you please turn that off? Because they're getting so many reports. So, sometimes it's difficult in a market where you're not getting a lot of physical showings. Your sellers might start to doubt, what you're doing for them. And so these are great ways to keep your sellers informed as to what's going on online. And so if you want to add additional links, not necessarily your website, but maybe there's a community website, an HOA website, you can add those in here. If you want to update the music, you can choose different music selections. You can sample those by clicking here and change what you want to listen to. And if you have a YouTube video, you don't have to overwrite it with the virtual tour. You could include that in the actual property or in the virtual tour. And so if you have a YouTube video that you want us to play before the virtual tour shows, you would put that URL right here. And then do you want us to play that video out of the gate? And again, we talked about marketing defaults. So this is something that I wanted to go ahead and show you right now. So a lot of these things, agents say, well, hey, I changed this for this one property, but it didn't reflect on my other properties. Well, that's because we're looking to your defaults for that information. And so the defaults area, there's a couple ways to get to it. You can get to it from here, but you can also get to it from managed properties. So let's go ahead and do that to show you another way to get to it. So if you don't want to follow through the edit property details, you can also do it through edit account information like we did earlier today, and then set marketing defaults. Just checking to see if there's any questions right now. Nope, so far no questions. So one of the things that you'll see first here is, do you want us to do anything with your listings when they hit the market? So some agents use a different company and they want nothing to do with ListingsMagic, nothing personal. This is a very subjective technology that we have in place here. Some people just like, stay away from my listings. If you want it turned off, you would turn it off here. If you don't want notifications, so some agents are like, look, I do a lot of listings, or I just don't want you notifying me every time I put a new listing in. Go ahead and do what you do. Just don't tell me about it. You would set this to no. And then what MLS system is your default MLS system? West Palm Beach Beaches is the choice you put in there. And then again, we talked about patterns, colors, property display. Which do you want us to lead with, the standalone property website or the virtual tour with Ken Burns effect? We talked about that earlier as well. So which one is going to open up when the URL is clicked? Do you want us to send you the Craigslist reminders and information? We do need your Craigslist login email and password, so it doesn't look like that's in here for Lynn's account. And so without that information, we're not able to auto-generate those listings. So what that means is Craigslist now requires an account to post to the real estate for sale section. So if you've tried to post to that section yourself, you'll see that they say, hey, you need to have an account. Very easy to set up and create. It just requires you to have an email and password. So once you have that, place that information here, and you'll be good to go. And then what Craigslist region do you want to post to? West Palm Beach, and then there's a sub-region that goes along with that, Palm Beach County. What Backpage region do you want? Again, Backpage is similar to Craigslist. Then you have a brochure headline, call today for a private showing. So we're automatically building a brochure for your listings as well. I'll show you those here in a few minutes. Do you want that chat turned on for your property? The chat that I showed you, that's a lead generator that kind of pops out from the right-hand side of your tour and virtual tour and single property website. And then do you want it turned on at different times of the day? You can set it to not show up after certain times. I'll show you that real quickly here as well. Very easy to set up. What email and phone number do you want to utilize? You can set that for different properties. So if you've got a buyer's agent and you want them to get all the leads for this particular property, you can set that up for a particular property. This is the default one, so this is going to be the one that we use for all properties. And then if you want to update all existing properties, you can do that by checking that. What email do you want? We're going to send a transcript of the chat once it's complete. And then the initial message that pops out, if you want to customize that. Hello there, I happen to be online right now. Can I answer any questions for you? I forgot to mention, if you do not respond, because we get it, a lot of times you're in a closing or you're with buyers or you're not in sell range, you won't be able to respond to those. After a minute and a half, roughly, we're going to send an autoresponder back to them that says, I'm sorry, but I'm on a call right now. Can you please leave me your email and or phone number? And I'll go back to you. And so you're not leaving them hanging with no response. You're giving them this, what I call autoresponder back. And oftentimes they will say, no problem, here's my phone number, you can reach me, or here's my email, here's how you can reach me. So if you want to customize this, you can do so here as well. I highly recommend you keep it short and brief. Don't put a lot of verbiage in there. I saw one agent that I literally had to scroll for like a minute to read it all, and it's not believable. The chat is a little bit of a a trick technology in that you're not necessarily popping that chat box out proactively. We're doing that, but we're giving you the ability to engage in that conversation, and if you're not there, we're at least kicking back that autoresponder. And then we talked about the start dates and times, and so you can select when you want it to show up, not show up. If you want it turned off, let's say Sunday, or you're just off on Sundays, you don't want to deal with it, you can say off, no calls. If you want it always on, you can say always on. I have a lot of agents. I was at a seminar a couple weeks ago. I had an agent that he leaves it on all the time. He just turns his phone off at night. He forgot to turn his phone off, and he had somebody at 2:30 in the morning ask him a question, and the person was just so blown away that somebody was responding at 2:30 in the morning. Now, you might also think that's, well, what kind of strange agent is that? You don't want to have that be the norm, but it's pretty cool that they're able to respond to them. There's a lot of, and one of the things that I've seen is we get a lot of traffic from around the world. It's really quite amazing. And one of the things I actually noticed was there's a lot of traffic from Afghanistan and Iraq, and those are our troops that are oftentimes ready to move back, and they're looking for homes. So yeah, just kind of a cool thing. And again, so you can set your start time, end time here, and customize it the way you want to. And then your Realtor.com information, we talked about that earlier. Call today for a private showing. You can see Lynn's custom Realtor.com messages here. She does have the send Roberto.com stats report set to no. That's why it was set to no. If you want that to yes, you would change that to yes. And then do you want to personalize those reports with a custom message from you? You can do that as well. And then do you want us to generate that video? How many photos do you want minimum? And then do you want us to update the description from the MLS? So some MLSs have a really small description area or a restricted description area, and so a lot of times agents will come into our system and put in a more verbose description, and so they don't want us to synchronize from the MLS. So I don't think that's a restraint in your MLS, so you'd leave that to yes. So those are some of the defaults that I wanted to talk about. So again, we're doing a lot of things through automation, but we're also going to give you the ability to customize to a great extent. Anything that you want to customize and kind of make personal for your own marketing needs. And so once again, I'm going to come back into the property that we were managing before, come back down, and kind of pick up where we left off. Photos, you won't need to synchronize the photos. If you do update the photos in the MLS, and we're going to pick those up, but we go through a process where we've got a lot of MLSs we work with, so it can take a little bit of time for them to update, usually within 4 hours. But let's say you want it sooner, you can force those photos to try and update sooner if we've got the ability to do so. And you would do there, pulling the latest photos from the MLS. So for the most part, you're not going to be spending any time in this section, and it tells you there are 30 photos in the MLS for this property. The photos are currently synchronized. One point is if you come in here and change or delete or do anything in this area right here, we will no longer synchronize with the MLS those photos because now we don't know what you want. It would just cause an agent a great deal of frustration if they came in here, rearranged photos, deleted some, added some, and then an hour later we came in and overwrote all of that with the MLS. So once you make a change, we're no longer going to synchronize. If you need to change that synchronization back, you can, but you'll have to change that drop-down box. We talked about the active and inactive. You don't need to worry about that. We're going to handle that automatically. QR codes, I don't know where they're being utilized anymore, but we still have one if you want to use it for marketing purposes. You can. We do include those in the flyers, so you wouldn't need it for that. Brochures, we want to talk about that. We have built some custom brochures specifically for your office, and so if you want to choose one of those particular brochures, very easy to use and create. We've got the standard one that we build automatically. We'll take a look at the one that we built through automation. It's going to be a PDF, so I've got to open up this PDF here in the PDF viewer, and you'll see it's Illustrated Properties branded. I forgot to mention too, it's about 8:42, so I want to kind of get this completed about 9 o'clock my time. We're in Colorado, 11 o'clock your time, so we'll do some questions and answers at the end. But there's the brochure that we generate for you guys. Very easy to do. I want to show you the other one quickly though that I think is really nice. It's brochure template 5, and this is a 2-pager. And so one of the things you'll need to do is you'll need to crop you don't need to. I should say I highly recommend that you crop the photos because the brochures have specific regions where photos sit, and with our crop tool you get to choose exactly what you want to show in that particular brochure. And so as we go through and choose the first photo that we want, I just simply place my mouse, click, and drag. And you can see I can't get it wrong. I can't pick a aspect ratio that will get it wrong. I just simply need to choose how I want to frame this particular photo. If you don't do this, we're going to crop just how we crop. We're just going to take a chunk out of the middle. And so you want to go through and crop these the way you want, but it's so easy. You just, this one, same thing, boom. And I'm just going to go ahead and not crop all of them. I'm just showing you how easy it is to do this so that you get it right. And it'll fit perfectly in there. So the rest, if we don't say crop, we're just going to, again, crop through automation. You have the ability to put in headline 1, great location, price. You'll see where these show up. Reduce, whatever you want those to be. If you don't put anything there, they'll just be blank. You can change all this contact information. If somebody else wants to have their phone number there, they can. And so once it's saving, it's building. and it's done. So real easy to do, and it took me, what, a minute to create what I consider to be a very professional looking brochure for use inside or outside. And as I scroll through, you'll see the photos and how they sit. I just think they look great. They look fantastic. I know red's not the color that you guys typically are, so let's go back to a dark green. So look how easy it is to update. So I didn't like the red. That's more of a Keller Williams color. So let's change that. Open it up again. And there you have a more illustrated properties color scheme. And this is a custom built brochure for you guys for illustrated properties purposes. And again, send it off to your printer, print up 50 copies, stick it in your listing. Your sellers think you spent a lot of time building this brochure and it took you seconds. And so that's the brochure option 5 and brochures in general. Oh, actually, that's what I was thinking. Very similar. This is the custom illustrated properties brochure. It's actually this option down here. I chose this one, which is similar. This one is actually specifically for you guys. So rather than, it's very similar in how you build it out. I just chose the wrong one. So that's that. Just listed and just sold. That's another tool that you might want to utilize. Again, we're going to create a very easy to print custom just listed and just sold postcard. And so you can customize it. Just listed this amazing house. Thinking of buying or selling, I can help. You can customize that. I'll just to show you all, customize it a little bit. To show you the changes that I've made. And click on save. Open it up. Again, we're saving it off as a PDF. So why PDF? PDFs are what is standard in the print industry. So you want to print something, you outport it to a PDF document. So here's what it looks like, front and back. It's a just listed or just sold. You can send this out to, a lot of times I've heard that people use title companies. They'll send this over to their title company or get a list from their title company. I don't know how it all works. We are in the process of looking at working and partnering with a print company that also has the ability to target based on zip codes, but we haven't implemented that just yet. So look for that to be a feature that we add down the road. And that's the brochure options. We talked about you don't need to copy this property. If you want to delete the property, that's where you would delete it from. We talked about the reports, the seller reports that you can send directly. If you want to send one now, you can do that. Looks like we're missing the email for that. We do need your login information for Realtor.com for these reports to get sent. So that's where you would place that information. That's why that's not able to be sent. ListingsMagic, obviously that's not required. You can send this off to your sellers right away. So let's say they missed it in their email, they can't find it. You're on the phone with them and you say, hey, I'll send it to you right now. You can do that here. And then we've got these really nice marketing emails. So we talked a little bit about this, that we send this email to you when you first get a listing, but let's say you want to send it again. Again, your sellers may have missed it. I'm going to send this to myself. Coming from Lindbergh, check out the marketing I am doing for you. And then we have another cool thing here. Do you want to get notified when it's been opened? You can set that to yes. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want Lynn to get notified. You can also add a custom video. And so if you want to personalize this, you can generate a video right from your webcam or from your phone. Really easy to do. I'll just go ahead and say yes. You'll see that I did a test with her a while back, so I could actually use that video in the yeah, why not do that? I don't remember that video, but it says test with Illustrated. Oh, I do remember it. I do remember it. I was showing Tom Day and some of the other staff members down there. So I'll say submit. So the email is being sent. I'll come over here. I'll check my emails. Scroll up to the top. I got a lot of emails. Thousands upon thousands. You can see earlier we posted that listing to Craigslist. Now you can see if I want to complete it, this is what I would do. My email's not liking that. So right here, you just click on that link. So kind of jumped off topic here, but because we talked about it earlier, I wanted to show you we didn't have to wait for that ad to get built. It was sitting there waiting for us. It looks like the email might be in the queue, might take a little bit to get to us. We'll come back and check that a little bit later on. But it's a great marketing email to send to your sellers. It shows all the different marketing that we're doing for them and their listing that is you doing it, so it's like you're the one doing the heavy lifting, even though it's us behind the scenes. The open house and just listed email is also nice. It's very professional looking as well. Send that to yourself, and then you can forward that off to other agents. You guys probably have noticed that we send every morning any new listings that have hit the market the day before. We send them out to your entire office, and so that's a feature we added a couple of months ago just to kind of keep you in the loop. It's always nice to have your own agents to work with inside your own company, so they're the first to know about these new listings. You can use this as an open house notification if you want to. Put in the open house information. You can preview what it's going to look like. We're going to take a look at that. Internet's running a little bit slow here. I apologize. That's the law of demos. The internet will be slow in demos. Come on, you can do it. And I'll just take a look and see if they got any questions. Well, thanks for staying with me. See, we got quite a few people on right now. It is not wanting to load. There we go. And so here's what an email looks like. Really nice, professional. It's got the shading. What's cool is that it's an animated GIF, and so it actually will be like a slideshow inside of your email. So you can't show video inside of an email, but this is almost like a video because it's going to rotate through the photos. So pretty slick. I would send this to your sellers as well. Just say to them, hey, I'm notifying other agents of this just listed. I just wanted you to see it as well. Because I put in an open house date, it showed there, or I said use it as an open house, but that won't show there if you don't select that. So set that back to no. And that's how that email works. And then if you want to broadcast out to other agents, we have a database of agents that you can send to other offices. And so you choose a zip code. There's an extra fee for these. It's a nominal fee based on how many emails you actually send out, but that's another tool to get more exposure, get more traffic to the virtual tour, and show your agents how you're proactively marketing their product. And then lead creation and lead management. We talked about manage your leads, lead dashboard. Any leads that come in, whether they come in from Realtor.com, whether they come in from the chats, it doesn't matter. We're going to track them in here. You can click on them and get more information about who they are. You can export them if you want to send them to another third-party tool, but that's how you manage the leads. We're coming up on 8:52 here. There's a couple of things I want to show you, so I'm kind of going through these pretty quickly. The chat, we talked about setting that up. Ryder Signs, we've got a very exciting new feature that we're about to launch. So Ryder Signs, if you've used them in the past, basically you have to assign a code. So you got a piece of plastic that you says, call this number or text this to this, and then there's a code that you have to assign to it. We're doing away with that code. So we're going to have a generic Ryder sign that is specifically for illustrated properties that says text illustrated to 878787, and based on GPS, they will, if they're in front of the property, which is if they are looking at that Ryder sign, they should be in front of that property, they will get the property information for the property they're standing out in front of. They'll also get additional properties that are nearby that'll be branded as if they're your listings. And so it's a new tool that we're really excited to launch. We'll let you know when that's ready to go. We'll be working with management to get them informed on what the rollout process will look like. But very cool technology. Great thing to show your sellers. Green friendly, lead generating. You'll get the lead, and you don't have to print up a bunch of brochures and stick them out in front where the kids grab them and make airplanes, and you have to keep refilling the box. We're just super excited about this new GPS-based Ryder sign technology. And right now, if you were to order them, they will be our old ones, so hold off until we get the new ones in place. Lead generating valuation pages. These are city-based links that you can utilize to help generate more seller leads. And so if you come in here, you put in whatever property you wanted to put in. I can see Boca Raton's already in there, Delray Beach is already in there, Palm Beach Gardens. All you do is put your city in. So I'm just going to put in Coconut Creek, Florida. You'll see how easy it is to add a new one. If you don't upload a custom photo, however, you can see these have custom photos in place. We're just going to use a generic photo. And so there's Miami is in there as well. And so if I looked at this one here, Coconut Creek, you'll see this is Lynn Birds. What is your Coconut Creek home worth now? You can see that doesn't look like Coconut Creek. So I don't think that's the best idea. We're just going to randomly choose one of our stock images. I recommend you upload your own photo, get a large photo, go search the web, look for a royalty-free image of an area like these are here, I would imagine. And so let's take a look at this Palm Beach Gardens one that looked Florida-ish to me. So now you've got something that maybe is more reflective of Palm Beach Gardens. What is your Palm Beach Gardens home worth? Get your answer here. Anybody that plugs this information in here, even if they just put in an address, you're going to get a lead that says somebody at 123 Maple Lane requested property valuation. And I'm just going to put my information here just to show you how it works. You can see it pre-populates information. It doesn't have to be in Palm Beach Gardens. We're just trying to make it region specific so that it is more connective to the people that see this particular ad. If you're not familiar with it, I don't have time to go through it here, go check out how to publish a Facebook ad. Very inexpensive, very targeted, and very easy to do. And so you'll see we're going to verify the property information details here. If they need to change and update it, they can do so. At this point in time, Lynn just got a lead. Unfortunately, it's going to be from me, and it's bogus. I'll have to reach out to her and let her know to disregard it. The next screen is where they would fill out their contact information. If you've been in this business long enough, you know people may not go past this screen, but you will get notified that that person at 11769 Apache Trail actually did fill this out. You won't know who they are, but you can use public records perhaps, or add them to a mailing that you might send out, and just a way to keep in front of them. However, if they do fill this out completely, you will have their contact information. You can see behind the white box here is their property valuation. They can't see it. They can't move this box around. So, we're trying to get them to say, here's, who I am, so that you'll give me that information. So that's another great tool you can utilize inside of our marketing system. The property valuation page is super easy to set up and run with. And we kind of talked about these marketing defaults are accessible here as well. Edit your account information is also accessible here. Adding new property, you probably don't need to worry about unless it's something that we don't have in the MLS. And that's that. Finally, okay, so one of the other most exciting things that we have launched here, and it's in beta testing right now, is our video email service. And so if you go to your account, you'll see this new video email service. I'll go ahead and launch that to show it to you and how it works. And there's a demonstration of me talking about the tool and why it's valuable. In a nutshell, video email tool, or this video email tool, is a way to communicate with past and current sellers or potential buyers or anybody in your sphere. Any real estate coach that you've ever talked to, I can promise you, if they're any good at all, they will talk to you about the value and the importance of staying connected to your sphere, whether it's past clients, past buyers, past sellers, potential buyers, potential sellers, whatever they may be. Communicating with them is valuable. So the reason you would send them schedules for the Dolphins or for the Heat, or send them recipes or whatever it is that you might do, is to stay in front of them. But those are not very personal. Those are not things that connect you to those people in a very deep or meaningful way. Video does have that capability. And so with this tool, you're able to easily and quickly from any device generate a video. You want to do it really professionally? Feel free. I recommend just doing something, very off the cuff or very, low tech, if you will, just off of your phone. Do a selfie video that says happy birthday to your clients that their birthday is today. If you want to send a batch out to a group of people, you can do so as well. So it's a very powerful tool. I'll show you a little bit about how it works here, and then we're coming up to 11 o'clock your time. We're going to do a complete training on just this product, because this in and of itself, there are companies that charge $50 a month just for a tool like this, and it's included now completely in your system. The Ryder Sign technology we're talking about too, there are companies that charge $50 a month just for that. I'm starting to sound like what's the guy, Ron Popeil from what was that company, Ronco? I don't know, whatever it was called. But we're pretty excited about having these things added to your back end at no additional cost to you or your company. And so you can add a single new contact. If you've got a database that you can export in the CSV file, you can upload multiple contacts here. You just browse and find that CSV file, and so you can upload a whole bunch at once. And once you do, doing some testing here, we've got a couple of emails that are already in here. And so I'll come in and just say I'm going to do a quick send. So I'm going to show you how this works. It's just like sending an email. So you're going to say, what email address do you want to send it to? So I'm sending this to my Gmail. Which template? We're going to have a whole bunch of templates that we add to the back end as well. So again, this is in beta testing, so it's pretty new. Check out this video I made for you. Again, you can send this to a group of people. If you were to have said, send this to all these people at once, they would all show up in the two, so you wouldn't need to worry about it. And then do you want to use the video? Test. Oh, that's an old one. We don't have that in there, but that's why. All right, so we don't have that video in there anymore because we moved to a new technology. What you would do is you simply create a new video, and you would record from either your webcam or from a file or from your phone. If you want to do it from your phone, it's very easy to do. You simply send yourself a text message and record from your whatever device you're recording from. Super easy to do, and it would show up there. Unfortunately, I don't have any videos that I've made, and I don't want to make one right now. You put your text in here and say, check out this great video. And then you give the email a name. So this might be an email that you want to repurpose and use again and again and again. So you give it a name, illustrated test video for webinar, just so we know what it is. And the really cool thing about this is that we're going to track when the email was opened, when the video was opened, and you will get notified via text message when anybody opens this video email up. So I just decided to send it. I don't think it's going to work because this video, when we created this video, it was on an old platform, and that was done months ago when I was showing Tom Day originally. So I don't think it's going to come through properly, but I'll take a look and see. No, matter of fact, I know it won't. I know we've reformatted the way we save the videos. But if you want to create a group, you can. So you can create, past buyers group, a past sellers group, a potential buyers group, a potential sellers group. Anything you want to create, you can set up in there. You want to manage those emails. So all the emails that have been sent are going to be in here. So test with Illustrated, another test, and then this one we just created today is going to be there. So if you want to resend that, you can do that. Manage all the videos that were created. So you come in here, again, we have that one video, but it's on an old platform, no longer available. And then drip campaigns, you want to set people up. So let's say you created 5 videos on the things you need to know to buy a house. You would set those up in your videos, and then you'd create a drip campaign, and you'd apply those videos to all the new leads that come in that we also are going to be dropping into this contacts automatically. So if you get leads from Zillow, from Trulia, from Realtor.com, from any of our virtual tours, we're going to put those into your contacts automatically for you. And if you want to attach, and we'll say this is a new buyer. So if you've got a buyer drip campaign, you'll tell us add new buyers to it. It's going to be a very powerful tool. And then again, tracking, we talked about that. You're going to get notified of the tracking, and you'll see that we can look at this one here. So we've got one was sent to Tom, one was sent to Elisa Nagaroli. I think her name's changed now, and I sent one to myself to test. And so you can see this one was delivered, this one was opened, the video was viewed. Tom never opened his up. He was too busy, I guess, to take a look at it. But you can see, what the stats are as far as the back tracking. So a very powerful tool, and again, included in the product set. So again, we're going to be doing a completely separate training just on this tool alone, so I can't go too deeply in it. And again, it's in beta testing at this time right now. And so any issues you have, even our tech support folks don't know or aren't aware of how to handle managing any questions about this at this point right now. So any questions that you have that come in, and let's talk about support. So the best way for you to get support on ListingsMagic is from inside of any admin area. We have our live chat icon running during normal business hours. And so if you have a question about why can't I do this, why can't I do that, we've got the ability to remotely see your screen if you're having trouble. It's the best way to get support. If you want to email us, support@listingsmagic.com is the best way to do that. You'll get a ticket notification back, so we'll track that ticket to completion. So, hey, my property photos aren't looking the way they're supposed to. Can you please look at it? Here's the MLS ID number, and we will resolve that, and you'll get notified of the resolution, or if we have any follow-up questions, we'll ask you about that. If you want to call us, we have an 800 number. It's 877-831-8639. Again, 877-831-8639. And that's the way to reach us for support. And so thank you so much for your time. I'm going to stop recording now and kind of keep it to the hour that we promised.